Okay, here we are with Jack Burnell, who's qualified for Rio for the Olympic Games, our 10K swimmer. And here we are at the Serpentine. Jack, just want to tell us quickly why we're here at the Serpentine.
So we're here to promote the Swim Serpentine event, which is going to be in September time, which should be a fantastic event, which over 6,000 people will be here in the Serpentine, where the London 2012 Olympics was held, which again, very rare opportunity for people to swim the course that they did in the Olympic Games in 2012.
Fantastic. I think most people who watch this blog, they are sort of fairly experienced swimmers, so I want to ask you a few questions about training, if that's okay.
No worries.
Right, so you arrive at a pool. Now I would say that 95% of your training is in a swimming pool?
Yes, without doubt, yeah.
Yeah, so even though you're no more a swimmer, you do the majority of your fitness work in the pool.
Yeah, so for us, the reason we do a lot of our training in the pool is for the speed element. So it's all about being fast at the end of the race. It's, you know, it's okay being able to swim for a long period of time, but if you can't finish that race fast, then you're never really going to finish inside the top 10.
Yeah.
You'll sort of always be sort of mid-pack. So a lot of our training is obviously endurance based, but there's also a very strong speed element in there as well.
Okay, so you're at the pool. You arrive there. What's the first thing you do when you get on the pool side? Do you stretch? Do you do some, you know, what's your preparation before you actually go in the water?
So I get to the pool and I get changed into my shorts and I go straight into the land conditioning room and do some stretching, releasing off my hip flexors, which is a key part of open water swimming, being able to lift your head and sort of really get in that stretch position. Do a few other stretches. I also do some priming, so I get my shoulders and stuff ready by doing some very small body weight movements, maybe a couple of press ups, you know, nothing too strenuous, just to get the muscles firing. Then it's back out onto pool deck with the kit bag and wait for coach's orders.
So that's before every session. You do a little bit of conditioning work beforehand.
Before every session, yeah. It's all about being ready for that session to get the most out of the training session. There's no point just turning up and jumping in the water because your body will not be ready to swim instantly, and you may take 15 minutes out of your session by getting ready in the water. So that little bit of land warm-up really does help.
Great, so you're in the water now. What's the sort of average warm-up for you?
Average warm-up would probably be around 2.5k. A bit of steady swimming to start, nothing too strenuous, maybe an 800 or so loosen. And then the back end of the warm-up will be a few descending hundreds, so really sort of getting the muscles firing, sort of, if depending on what pace the session is, we sort of like descend to that pace, so we know what that pace feels like in the warm-up, and it's not a shock when we get into the main set.
Yeah. Are you doing any sort of technique work in your warm-up? Or are you?
Yes, some skills and drills, sort of making sure that the strokes are well connected and well involved, and you sort of really sort of in the flow of things before you get into the main set. So you don't instantly go into swimming fast and the stroke's not there. You need to be well connected within your stroke before you get to the main set, so you can really maintain that throughout the whole session.
Cool. Okay, so everybody watching this video, can you give them a main set to do?
A main set to do.
So just to, you know, I guess most people will probably do a couple of K main sets.
A couple of K,
yeah. So yeah, so what's the sort of an average set which people could achieve and do?
Okay, so I'll give you a fairly simple one that you can tweak. So I'll give you this session, which is a 400, a 300, a 200 and a 100. Now that's a K, and you can do that 3, 4, 2, 1, however many times you want to tailor that to you. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like to descend. So the 400 needs to be at sort of 50 beats below, sort of reasonably strong pace. You don't want to be swimming easy, it wants to be fairly hard. And then as the distances come down, 300, 200, 100, you're going to be getting to that 100, and that 100 wants to be at your finishing speed. So your all-out speed at the end of the race, you really want to be pushing that 100 on. And repeat that as many times as you want to. So we would repeat that set maybe 4 times and maybe 5 times. Again, you can tailor the session towards yourself in terms of turnaround times. So you can set 10 seconds rest between each 20, 30, whatever you need, you feel you need to progress the session.
Yeah.
But that's something that you can really sort of like tailor towards your ability.
Yeah,
I think it's a great set for anybody to get involved.
In between the main sets, in between each sort of, 4, 3, 2, 1, do you have a longer rest between those?
You can
do. Try and keep it going? Would you try and keep it going?
I would definitely keep it going. We
Yeah.
don't have rest between the sets.
Right.
You don't get a rest in the open water. So
Yeah.
in a race situation, it's all very, very full on. So I would try not to have a rest,
Not
more
a big
longer rest.
Right.
So keep the rest the same if you're going to repeat the session. So if you're having 15 seconds between each set, then have 15 seconds between the whole set.
Right.
But yeah, again, you can tailor that to whatever you feel necessary.
Yeah.
Coming down without a doubt to meet everyone and give them all an encouraging cheer when they all get in the water.
And then after a main set like that, do you do some contrast work or what?
So after a main
What
set
can I
like
do?
that, yeah, we would tend to maybe do a little bit of speed work. So maybe some pace 50s.
Right.
1500 pace 50s, just so we're keeping sharp.
Yeah.
If it's been a big session, we'd probably sum down after that. So
Yeah.
maybe do 1000, 1500 sum down. Again, put in a few speed spikes, so 10, 15 meter bursts to get the lactate flush through the body.
Okay.
Although you'll not feel like doing those bursts at the time, you need to just push your body to that point of max for 15 meters and then relax and come off the pace, and you'll certainly feel better the next day for it.
Cool. And then you get out of the pool, do you have drink, food straight away, or what's your sort of post-swim sort of routine?
So I always try and get some food in, some carbohydrates in. I make these brilliant little energy balls that I have after my swimming, which have predominantly got oats, dates, nuts and stuff in. So they've got some good fats in there. You've got some good carbohydrates in there.
So that's natural stuff you've made yourself?
All natural stuff, yeah.
Good.
That I put in a blender and I just make into little balls that are easy to eat after the training session. I have 2 of them after each session to make sure that, depending on how long I can get before I can get my full meal in, just pop 2 of them in, and I'll also take a protein shake just to make sure I get the maximum amount of recovery in.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Jack.
No worries.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, Jack, so thanks so much for your time today. So in the build-up to Rio, if people want to follow you, what's the best way to sort of find out about what you're up to, what you're doing?
Twitter would be the best way for me, so at Jack BURNELL. Give me a follow on Twitter, and you're more than welcome to fire any questions about training, tips, anything like that. I'm more than happy to answer them, and yeah, that's probably the best way to keep up to date with how training going and everything like that.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
Thanks a lot.